Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Provo, Utah. A beautiful Thursday evening. Southfield will play host tonight to a PDL Mountain Division matchup between the visiting Albuquerque Soul, coming in with a 4-1-1 record, being hosted by the BYU Cougars in 5th place in the Mountain Division of the PDL. The Cougars still looking for their first win of 2015. They've played 6 matches. They have 2 losses and 4 draws, including 4 straight draws after losing to the Albuquerque Soul in Albuquerque on May 21st. We are just getting ready for the national anthem right now. We will pause for that and be back with you in just a moment.
We honor our country with the national anthem. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Lucy Scholl.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A beautiful rendition of our country's national anthem on a beautiful evening for soccer. I'm Dave Neely at Southfield, joined by former BYU soccer player and former BYU coach Hugh Van Wagenen, along with current women's soccer player here at BYU, Carla Swenson. Hugh, BYU comes into this matchup with 4 straight draws after starting with 2 losses. What kind of extra motivation does that give these BYU players still looking for their first win?
Yeah, and this is the 4th game of a 4-game homestand. 3 of those draws you mentioned, Dave, earlier. And so tonight they really, really want to get this win to propel them as they head away for the next few games. And they've come so close in the last couple of matches here at Southfield. Really, tonight is a big, big deal against a very good Albuquerque team. Should be a fun one to watch. And if BYU needs extra motivation tonight, well, they shouldn't be playing.
Carla, you and I talked to Coach Watkins after Tuesday night's 2-2 draw and asked him, how are you going to prepare for Thursday's matchup? His answer was, well, we're going to coach camps tomorrow, we're going to coach camps on Thursday, and then we're going to play on Thursday night. So with that being said, these BYU players have been coaching camps. They've been in the sun all day with several youngsters from around the country coaching soccer camps. How does that change physically what a team might be able to accomplish?
Yeah, so obviously for the Cougars, they're not going to have the same sort of energy that they would have had a week ago. What is going to be important for them in this game is they're going to have to pick their moments. You know, not every moment's going to be a high intensity, high pressure. They're most likely going to drop back the line of confrontation a couple yards. Pick their moments. Choose when to run up the sideline. But for the most part, play a pretty conservative game to conserve that energy.
You know, Dave, Carla's a great point, but not only have they done camps over this last week, this is their 4th game in 7 days. So even outside of camps, this is exhausting and taxing on a body. And so Carla's exactly right. They have to be really smart about the way they press tonight.
How is it mentally exhausting as well? Mentally exhausting, Hugh.
You know, you try and give your all to all those campers. Carla's done camps, I'm sure. I remember doing camps and you know, dealing with youth, and you want them to have a great experience here at BYU. And so that there's a lot that goes into it, even more so than probably your typical office job, right? You're 8 to 5 because you're dealing with youngsters who are excited about the game, who want to have a good experience at BYU, and then you're on your feet, you're shouting, you're trying to do some coaching. And so it takes a lot, it certainly does, and you have to flip a switch as you step onto the field. It's South Field tonight, and it's a gorgeous night, and so hopefully that all helps. The breeze is here, and you just have to change gears in order to come and play.
The Albuquerque Soul visiting Provo. In first place, 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Coached by Matt Gordon in his first season. The Albuquerque Soul are just in their 2nd season of PDL play. The BYU Cougars, once again, 0-2-4. Chris Watkins in his 21st season as the BYU coach. Hugh, you were on this coaching staff just 12 months ago. What would Coach Watkins say before a match like this to get his team motivated?
Tell you what, he wouldn't give them any excuses. He wouldn't say, don't focus on camps, don't focus on it's the 4th game in 7 days. Those are things that we can talk about. It's not something that the players can focus on. And so he would focus on how well the team really has been playing from those first few games. And Carla, you've probably seen it. They're really starting to come together as a group,
Definitely.
a cohesive group. And again, they've been terribly unlucky in the last couple of games not to come out with some wins. And so focus on the positives, I'm sure, is what Coach Watkins would say. Don't you think so, Carla?
No, I agree. I know, and speaking to Coach Watkins after the last game, you know, they had been losing down in their last game against the Las Vegas Mobsters on Tuesday. And I asked him, what was it that you told the team to get them pumped up, get that sort of energy that they showed in the second half? And he told them, I want you guys to enjoy. I mean, when else in your life are you going to play at beautiful South Field, you know, against others, you know, PDL teams, both just as excellent, just as good as you guys are, to enjoy the moment. And so as well to just relax and stay focused, not have any excuses. I think it's important for these boys to enjoy themselves out there, take some risks, enjoy themselves, play like a team, and live for those opportunities.
The BYU Cougars lost senior Matt Ryder after Tuesday's match, not to injury, but because he has moved on to bigger and better things, so to say, if you can get to bigger and better than being a collegiate athlete.
Different things.
Different things, Hugh, is the right word to say. So Matt Ryder is not with the BYU Cougars anymore. A couple new starters that didn't start on Tuesday for the Cougars, freshman Jacob Entz and Ryan Botcherby. Botcherby scored the first goal for BYU on Tuesday night. It tied the match at 1. That goal was scored just moments after he was subbed into the match by Coach Watkins.
And what great tenacity by Botcherby. I mean, it takes a lot of players a couple minutes to get into the game, to get into the rhythm, but he went in there and he told himself, first touch, I'm going to go to goal, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, it really was a brilliant sequence of touches and something that he's been dreaming about for a long time, working so hard to get on the pitch. Ryan Botcherby works his guts out all the time. And a well-deserved goal after all the effort and work he's put in all these months of preseason and now the regular season.
And see, it really shows in the game because after that, we saw the Cougars' intensity and rhythm.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
Was great afterwards.
Yeah, just moments after Botcherby's goal, Dallin Cutler scored his 2nd goal of the season to give BYU a 2-1 lead. And the momentum certainly felt like it was going to lead to BYU's first win, but then Frank Tayo for the Mobsters tied the game a couple minutes after that, and BYU finished Tuesday night with its 4th straight draw. They tied 2 against the Real Colorado Foxes last weekend, and then that 2-2 tie against Las Vegas Mobsters. And here we go from Provo, Utah, 73 degrees. Couldn't ask for better weather. Even if you were in San Diego, couldn't be better than this. Brendan Ottman already making an impact. The Cougars goalkeeper making his 4th straight start, wearing all royal blue. And the Cougars now pushing it towards midfield for the first time. Dallin Cutler looking for some options. He's going to go towards Jacob Entz, but the misconnection results in a turnover.
See, the Cougars are going to have to be very aware of that switched ball. Albuquerque loves to switch it from one side of the field to the other, and it's very hard to defend. It's going to be important for the Cougars to keep them compact, keep them to one side, make the play predictable.
Junior Latte, one of the BYU team captains, called for an early foul, and that's going to give an opportunity here to the Soul in the opening moments of this one to capitalize on the foul. We saw a similar situation on Tuesday night, and the free kick was sent directly into the goal past Brendan Ottman to give the Mobsters a 1-0 lead heading into the break.
As Campos lines this up, it's really a good distance. He has enough space to get it up and over the wall, but it is a fair ways out. He's going to have to put some pace on it to beat Ottman.
He has 2 goals this season, and he sends this one, launches this one way past everything. It'll be a BYU goal kick.
BYU got to be careful. Junior Latte giving up that free kick right outside the box there. Don't want to give up a lot of early fouls. Want to give your team a chance to succeed early here, not give up anything silly. Albuquerque seems to be pressing high, trying to force the Cougars into a turnover, maybe realizing how many games BYU's played in the last week.
The BYU Cougars, the home team, wearing white shirts, blue shorts. The visiting Soul from Albuquerque, red tops and black bottoms. Junior Latte is going to take this one and send it to his teammate Ethan Meyer.
And Ethan obviously having to make a switch. He's been playing outside back for BYU most of this season. As you mentioned, Dave, Matt Ryder's gone. You find Ethan back in his familiar center back spot, but he really was playing well at that outside right back position, creating some opportunities, having that assist for Ryan Botchapy in the last game. So we'll see how he makes the adjustment back to the inside tonight.
Another ball sent out of bounds. And another throw in for the Soul. Sent 2 strong for Luke Lawrence, and BYU knocks it out.
One of those situations where the communication between Jerry Dearden and Ethan Meyer hasn't been there because they haven't been playing next to each other in those positions. One of those two should have taken care of that ball easily. Instead, have to send it out for that throw-in.
And we've mentioned several times throughout the course of this season that this is a young squad for Coach Watkins in his 21st season. But when would you really like to see those communication issues be taken care of?
Immediately, right, Carla? I mean, you want to get it taken care of as quickly as possible. And they both played enough. It shouldn't be a problem. But first few minutes, it can have an effect.
Sam Gleedy not called for a foul as he knocks down a BYU player. Possession now back to the Cougars. Pedro Vasconcelos, mentioning his name for the first time, sends this one up towards Jace Green and headed out of bounds by Carlos Sendin.
I think another thing to remember too is a lot of these Albuquerque players played together at the University of New Mexico. So some of them here, though new to the program, have played together for years, whereas the Cougars are still a relatively new young team.
Jace Green to Vasconcelos, now into the box. Jacob Miles has it knocked away from him. And Jerry Dearden is there to control things for BYU.
Ethan Meyer loves that long ball, big switch.
And if you have the fast strikers up top, it usually works. Obviously, you have to watch your line, make sure you're not caught off sides, but the Cougars do a pretty good job of getting it to their big center, Jace Green, or to Jacob Entz, speedy on the sidelines.
You really have to utilize Entz's pace tonight. He is so good at getting into channels and being effective that way. One thing that the team has struggled with is keeping up with him. Once he gets the ball in the offensive third, who's crashing into the 18-yard box looking for the cross, and people crashing and then pulling defenders away, leaving gaps on the top of the 18. Hopefully BYU is better at that tonight than they've been in previous games.
Definitely. It's been so dangerous before as well.
Good defense by BYU. Now whistle's going to go against the Soul.
I was telling Dave earlier in the last game, the first time I ever met Jacob Entz was at the BYU fundraiser. I didn't know he was on the team, didn't know he was a soccer player, but boy, that first time he got the ball, you knew.
Certainly a player that we can expect to see a lot of exciting things for the next 4 years. Pedro Vasconcelos looking for Jace Green.
Got to keep that ball on the deck. Play Jace Green's feet in those tight situations.
And here comes Albuquerque. Junior Latte there to prevent the pass from successfully landing to his Albuquerque teammate. Now Jace Green is knocked down at midfield. Give and go to Ronaldo Teixeira.
And Teixeira already has been a big body for Albuquerque in the middle there, just in front of his back line, his back four, cleaning up a lot of balls, and he's going to start counterattacks off of BYU if they give the ball up that easily all night.
BYU saw two really big boys on Tuesday night, also for the Las Vegas Mobsters, two brothers, the Tayos. Now here's into the box, Jacob Entz with his left foot. Knocked away by Lucas Champanos. Now Jace Green is also denied by the goalkeeper.
Jacob Entz wants that back. Again, we see a brilliant long ball from Ethan Meyer. Loves that crossfield diagonal ball. And Jacob Entz took everybody on that back line of Albuquerque by surprise. Really wants to finish that. Comes back out to Jace Green, who has a shot on goal, but keeper's got it well covered on that angle.
Great reflexes by Lucas Champanos. Not just a good goalkeeper, but he also has the best beard in Provo.
I think he blocked that one with his beard, right in the face.
Hugh, I was saying that about your beard a couple of weeks ago, but it looks like you've trimmed it up a little bit.
I can't hang with that guy. No way. And that was really a great opportunity. And hopefully BYU has exploited and found a little bit of weakness there that they can take advantage of.
So 2 shots on goal early on for BYU.
Cougars doing a really good job of creating opportunities in the first half. I know that was Coach Watkins' complaint after the last game, but it appears that they're coming out to play every 90 minutes solid and strong.
Yeah, in fact, when we were talking to him after Tuesday night's match, he mentioned and he used the exact terminology, we wasted 45 minutes in the first half. They came out with a lot of fire in the second half, but you'd like to take advantage of the first 45 minutes also.
There's only 2 halves of soccer. Yeah, 45 gone, you really limit your opportunities. And one thing we've talked about, Dave, in previous games is who out on the pitch is going to be the leader and ignite a little bit of fire in the bellies of these players out here. And it's great that the coaching staff can do that at halftime, but it shouldn't take until halftime for somebody to step up and really get the drive going amongst their fellow teammates.
This ball gets away from Botcherby. And now a long pass sent up towards Luke Lawrence. 2 BYU defenders are there.
Good tackle, Dallin Cutler, well in Andrew Dossett. One of the players of the season so far for BYU is Andrew Dossett, 18. Just finished his freshman year of school, and he's really been a revelation, as they say, in front of the back line. Works so hard, breaks up plays, gets stuck in, and is as youthful enthusiasm, as they say.
Junior Latte forces the long pass that is too strong, and it ends up harmlessly with Brendan Ottman.
So now it's at Brendan's feet. The back line, if they know he's going long, really have to get up so that when the first and second balls come, there's a second ball. Who's there to challenge? It goes harmlessly to the goalkeeper, but you want to stay compact as those balls get long if you're BYU, so there's not big gaps you have to cover once the second ball comes down and controlled by one team or the other happens.
Vasconcelos, you can see him up towards the top of your screen, is grabbing his left shin. No stoppage in play as the Albuquerque Soul push it past midfield.
And they really like to dink the ball around. Little give and goes, 1-2s on the sideline, create those triangles. Fortunately for BYU, that doesn't come off.
Ends up going right to Pedro Vasconcelos. And here's Junior Latte at midfield. Gonna go to Jacob Bentz. Jacob Bentz is knocked down hard.
That defender came through Jacob there to win the ball.
You can hear the coaches a little upset, hoping for the foul there.
Jacob might be in for a long night if he keeps getting hammered like that.
One of BYU's littlest players. Long cross to Sam Gleedle.
And that's a wonderful switch by Albuquerque there, again stretching the field but doing in the offensive third rather than their own defensive half. Great crossfield ball.
Gleedle knocks this one off of BYU. They'll have a throw-in. A couple more players getting tangled up as the throw-in is sent into Manuel Campos. And a couple of physical plays here in the last 45 seconds.
And Campos tries to do a little behind the leg nutmeg on Dossett, who's having none of it. Campos has no choice but to just wrap him up, give away the free kick.
And already you can see both teams starting to get a little bit more physical, a little bit more heated. The Cougars are going to have to be very careful in their defensive third not to let any sort of foul happen. As we've seen in the past, those free kicks and set pieces can be so dangerous.
Oh,
Big number 5.
Big body right there.
Ronaldo Teixeira knocks another guy to the turf. And as big as he is, he's not nearly as big as the Tayo brothers were on Tuesday night.
No, not at all. And you can tell that BYU tried to get it out of the middle, tried to get away from the Tayo brothers simply because of their sheer size.
Wow, I can't believe Ent saved that ball.
Again, such a crowd pleaser.
So now that the ball's in the offensive half of BYU, how quickly do they move the ball?
Jace Green was the intended recipient of that pass. And taken back away by Albuquerque on a counterattack. Here's Teixeira finding Sam Gleedle. Beautiful pass by Gleedle to Campos, and Campos couldn't control it.
A little bit hopeful from Andrew Dossett there, starting on the counterattack. Really, it's a great idea to try and play Pedro in the corner there. However, he's quick over 5-6 yards, but not over 15 or 20 yards. And more than likely, once you win that ball, try and find a teammate, establish some sort of rhythm before turning the ball right back over again. And that'll help the team grow in confidence if they're able to do that.
Well, and to add with that, you see they were unsuccessful, and already it's on their half again.
Yeah, it's really frustrating. You know, the team playing defense, and you win the ball, and then the next touch, it's a turnover again,
well,
and you're on the back foot, right?
Yeah,
and it's like, come
depending
on.
on the counter's never been fun soccer.
The cross sent in is too strong for everybody.
But overall, I think it's pretty good start here to the game tonight. And almost 15 minutes in the 15th minute, BYU looking fairly comfortable. If they can again start to string some passes together when they do have the ball, are in possession, they're going to grow in confidence and be interesting to count. Right, next time they have the ball, how many passes can they string together? How many different players does it touch? And right now, there's going to be 3 players that you could count in a string like that. And they're going to need to improve that to hold on to the ball.
These two teams played each other on May 21st. Albuquerque won 2-1. When you're playing a team for the second time, what kind of lessons learned from the first matchup helps you in a second game?
I think, well, obviously teams are going to be different in every situation, every game, every venue. It's important for the Cougars, again, to stay calm, stay composed in the back. If you know a team already, obviously you can prepare.
Vasconcelos with his left foot sent one in towards the goal. Now Jace Green unable to catch up to this one. And A whistle blown by referee Henson Keach. A stoppage in play for the moment. Carla, go on with that thought.
No, I was just saying, when you know, when you've played a team before, you obviously can prepare for it a little better. You know who their top players are. You know how their goalie plays. But there's an aspect to it that you can't get complacent. Just because you know more about the team doesn't give you any excuse or any leeway to play relaxed. Also, the Cougars are going to have to, they lost the last game, so there's going to have to be some changes, more opportunities at the top of the box, more opportunities in goal if they want to beat Albuquerque. They know they have a good goalie. They know they have a good attacker up top, you know, 7th in the league with shots for Lucas Lawrence. So they're going to have to make those adjustments.
One thing I remember as a player playing against other teams multiple times is that you recognize, okay, this is who my matchup is, whether I'm going at them because they're playing defense on me or vice versa, I'm playing defense on them. And every player has tendencies, things that they do unconsciously. And so the more you play against somebody, you pick those tendencies up and you kind of know what they're going to do, which can help. And the best players change those tendencies up, but there's certainly an aspect of playing against somebody regularly that lets you know how they play, what they like to do, and you can anticipate those things.
Vasconcelos showing some of that speed Hugh talked about a few minutes ago to draw a foul against Albuquerque. Vasconcelos is going to send this one in from just outside the box. He's joined by Dallin Cutler.
And the Cougars have scored 2 goals this season off of set pieces. So it's important they capitalize. You don't know how many opportunities like this you're going to get in a game.
Good position.
Vasconcelos towards the near post.
He saw the keeper cheating there. Pedro did. Intelligent little play. He went for it. He was going for goal in the near post. As the keeper was anticipating the ball going to his own left, Pedro tries, hit side netting on the outside of the net. Interesting idea. Boy, you're not going to have too many positions like that, like you said, Carla, though. Get a ball in that area. Would you have gone for it, Carla?
I would have gone for the far post in
post.
hopes that a runner or a striker would have been there if it went wide or in the air.
I think that's what everybody was thinking, and that's why Pei went near post.
I mean, give him credit for taking some chances, trying to be unpredictable. Like you said, those tendencies, break those tendencies down.
Ronaldo Teixeira finds Sam Gleedle. Now a cross sent in from point-blank range. Tamino Kroger sends that one wide right. But an excellent pass. No BYU defenders were anywhere in the vicinity as we take another look.
Ball gets just drifted back post. Both Botcherby and Meyer crowding. Tamino's right there, and it's probably almost too much time, right? So his eyes get big. He thinks he's got this one in the back of the net.
And it's great awareness by Kroger to see that space. I mean, his position, he's usually not going to be up in there, but he saw the space and he went for it.
And Ryan Botcherby has to be careful. He hasn't seen a ton of game time minutes. And positioning on the field.
Nice pass from Jacob Entz to Jace Green. Jace Green tripped up, and it's taken in by Lucas Champanos.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity right there. Ball just doesn't quite fall to Green's feet. But you like the way he's attacking the box and getting in and trying to be dangerous.
Race to the ball in the corner. Jacob Entz is beat.
BYU's gone to that corner now a few times, and it looks like Jacob Entz has pace on Travis Campbell back there. And so BYU, hey, that you can exploit that. Keep going in that direction.
Definitely try to get that cross in. Jace Green, obviously taller than that defensive line. I say send a cross in, try to get it to Jace's head. He's already shown he's a successful goal scorer with his head.
That's right.
I say capitalize on that skill.
Jace Green scored 2 goals, his only 2 of the season during the first half of Friday night's 2-2 draw.
This is dangerous.
Here comes Albuquerque. Tamino Kroger once again was wide open, but he slips and falls on his backside trying to catch up to the pass. Another fortunate series of events for BYU.
Kroger's offside there, but boy, Albuquerque's really starting to stretch that Cougar back line, finding big gaps. And That's going to be really dangerous moving forward until Andrew Dossett maybe has to sit at home a little bit more in front of his back four and plug up some holes as that defense gets stretched.
And see, it's okay for Botcherby to leave him as long as that angle's cut off. And that's the problem, is Kroger's has too much space and too much of an angle. If you were to get the ball, it's an easy shot.
Jay Screen is beat to that ball and sent back out to midfield. Here's Manuel Campos beating Dallin Cutler. A nice pass up. Another shot attempt and put in by Sam Gleedle. Past Brendan Ottman. It started with the beautiful pass from Campos through everybody. Gleedle was right there. And just as he catches up to it, is able to put one in to the far post.
Great little ball from Campos, slides in between all the defenders. Gleedle runs onto it, and cool as you like, slots it in that lower left corner of his. Ottman, that's a tough situation. He's got to cover the whole goal. Gleedle's got the whole goal at his mercy, and he does what a striker should do. Tucks that ball away. Really starts with Campos getting in behind two players for BYU. We just talked about Andrew Dossett. Maybe has to sit and plug a hole a little bit more and just play a little bit more conservative, keep the ball in front of him and players in front of him. Campos does really, really great job slipping that ball in for Gleedle.
Well, Campos also had great awareness in seeing that the Cougars' defensive line was flat. I mean, sending that through ball was easy because there was no depth.
No
for
pressure
the
on the
Cougars.
ball. Yeah, back line's flat. Good run from Gleedle, and it's just a simple pass.
Easy placement for
space.
Gleedle.
First goal of the season for Sam Gleedle. Now right back at it comes the Albuquerque Soul.
Gleedle actually, living here in Utah, is actually part of the RSL Academy. So he's not he's not new, I should say, to this Utah weather, to playing here on South Field.
Botcherby on the far sideline, battling against Tamino Kroger. Here's Vasconcelos looking for Jacob Entz.
That's a hopeful ball from Vasconcelos. Everybody's got to not be too anxious here, not want to try and get it back too quickly. Again, take care of that ball. Soccer ball is precious. Every time you touch the ball, just got to caress it, take care of it, protect it, not give it away cheaply or easily.
Another foul against the Soul will give BYU another set piece. This time it's going to be controlled by Dallin Cutler.
Dawson on the wall! Pedro, take him away, Pay!
You know, I was speaking with Dave earlier, saying that soccer can be so unforgiving. One little mistake, one little play, and that can be the game.
Cutler sent it in towards Jay Screen, and Jay Screen with the header. Just what you guys were suggesting BYU do a few minutes ago.
That may have been Ryan Botcherby, actually, if we see it here on the replay. Good ball from Cutler. Whips in there, and Botch wishes he has that one back. He just jumps a little bit too early. Gets underneath it rather than over the top of it. So even though BYU is down 1-0, they have had a couple of darn good.
Looks like I need to go back to the eye doctor.
They're about roughly the same height, blonde hair, similar build. It's the shoes.
And
You
we
look
were
at the
talking
shoes.
about Jay Screen.
Turn
Vasconcelos
play.
lets this one get past him, and with the spin move, controls it.
Gotta say, I'm a big fan of the spin move. I try to use that in almost every game. So whenever I see Pedro doing it, I'm a big fan.
4 shot attempts for BYU, 3 for the Soul, 1-0. The visiting team on top here in Provo, Utah through 25 minutes of play. And no rest for the weary. Across towards Luke Lawrence. Offsides is called.
BYU, I wonder if they had a good start there for the first 15 minutes or so, and now the legs are really starting to burn from the long day of camps and the 4th game in 7 days. But they are not looking very clean at the back, and Albuquerque is starting to run riot. Lots of opportunities for them in the offensive third.
And Ottman's got to, I know it's hard when you get a goal scored on you, but he's got to organize his defense. Put it behind him, pretend like it never happened, and just be thinking of the next play.
Pedro Vasconcelos trying to catch up to this one. He's beat by Giovanni Raleigh. Now up at the top, Andrew Dossett, Jay Screen. Jay Screen, a couple defenders trying to deny him. Chase does a great job keeping control. Now it's knocked away. It'll be BYU's first corner kick. Vasconcelos will do the honors as usual.
Jace Green does pretty well holding Teixeira off there as he tries to skirt across the 18 and get a shot off.
And they're calling for another corner. It appears to come off the Albuquerque player.
So once again, Vasconcelos quickly sends it in. Here's Dallin Cutler. Dallin Cutler finding his teammate, back to Cutler. Little chip pass into the box is cleared out by the Soul. Andrew Dossett takes it away. Now Dallin Cutler. Long pass to Vasconcelos. Offsides is called.
I see it's a really good idea by the Cougars. You see it's very compact. They're playing a lot in the middle, trying to concentrate it. It's important to suck Albuquerque in and then try to play that long ball by Vasconcelos. I know Entz is on the far side. Pull him in and then get the shift out right or left.
The BYU Cougars have had 2 shots on goal. An excellent save made by Lucas Champanos, denied BYU's Jacob Entz in the early moments. And then the Soul took a 1-0 lead off the foot of Sam Gleedle. Tripped up is Jacob Miles at midfield.
And there you see Teixeira is just really a fulcrum in the midfield, anchors it. People look to play through him to get switches off or to relieve pressure, and him to play simple again after that.
Manuel Campos racing towards the box, has it stolen away. And here's Botcherby leading the Cougars downfield. Botcherby calling for it in the corner, and his teammates send it to him. Dossett forces it out of bounds off of his defender.
Good speed. You always have to admire those defensive players that find themselves in the attacking third. Makes it much more dangerous, allows you to get many more numbers into the box. I will say, though, it takes a lot of work ethic to put your defender
Gotta love to run.
all the way up there, yeah. We have to be willing to come back.
I think all these guys gotta love to run, don't they, Hugh?
No, there's a few that don't.
The goalies. Into the box, headed back out by Albuquerque.
Cheeky little ball from Dossett there.
Vasconcelos towards Champanos, who intercepts it out of the air.
Big, strong Teixeira, just shrugging Dallin Cutler off on the challenge.
Yeah, Cutler wasn't able to do anything physically against Teixeira.
Oh, I gotta pick that off, Jacob Miles.
On the near sideline. And sent in towards some of the young fans here at Southfield.
Junior Latte wasn't messing around there. He cleared that ball right into poor fan's face.
I know, that poor woman.
Latte's there. You see a lot of speed coming off of that right foot.
I see some napkins being administered. Must be a bloody nose.
No, that's no fun.
Maybe we should refund their money.
Oh, I say refund them, give them a hot dog, give them a t-shirt.
So now,
come on, event staff.
with that going on, we are back underway. Another ball sent into the crowd. Fans always want to be part of the action, unless it's that kind of action, I guess.
Yeah.
Brendan Ottman, the BYU goalkeeper, replacing Zach Peterson, BYU's goalkeeper to start the season, who suffered a nasty injury last week in a practice. So here's Ottman now, making his fourth consecutive start. Vasconcelos lets this one get away, a missed connection as he looked for Jerry Dearden.
And everybody's anxious on BYU. They want to play quickly, they want to counterattack quickly, which is the right thing to do. Just got to clean up those passes.
Through 30 minutes, though, I wouldn't necessarily say that Coach Watkins will be able to say the first half was wasted. Several opportunities offensively for BYU. They are pushing the tempo, like you mentioned, Hugh, coming out of the gates strong against the first place squad from Albuquerque. Defensively is where BYU has struggled a little bit, as we've seen Albuquerque take advantage of some potentially tired legs.
You know, if you think about the chances Albuquerque's had, outside of the goal, Ottman really hasn't been tested. He hasn't had to come up with a big save. So it's a little bit frustrating, the first real chance. And it was a real chance, certainly was, and well-deserved by Albuquerque, but they get that shut off and score. BYU's had a couple of chances, definitely a good one from Jacob Entz, a couple other half chances, that free kick from Botcherby on the header. But outside of that, certainly haven't been outplayed and look all right.
The problem with that one goal is the dynamics of the game change when someone scores, and we already see that Albuquerque's already dropped completely back to their half. You know, their line of confrontation already with that one goal has dropped back 20 yards. I can predict that for the second half, they're going to be packing it back just to do anything to try to keep their win and hope for another counterattack.
Yeah, and that makes it dangerous for BYU, right? Because then they have to come out of the back. They have to press a little bit higher up the pitch on Albuquerque, and that leaves gaps and holes, which we've seen tonight Albuquerque can take advantage of.
Well, they'll most likely have to, they'll most likely have to get in the box, which is hard to do.
From midfield, Jerry Dearden to Botcherby. This is where Botcherby scored from on Tuesday night. Now Botcherby to the center of the pitch to Dallin Cutler. Dallin Cutler sneaks past his defender. Now Jace Green towards the goal!
Wow!
And just like you said, it looked from our angle like it was gonna sneak in, but Lucas Champaños diving to his left, knocks it away with his hands. Another opportunity for BYU. Champaños is there again. The shot by Jace Green, beautiful from outside the box.
Oh, the shot and the curve on that ball, I mean, that was beautiful.
Great line of sight from our vantage point. You really did think it was going to sneak in here. Jace Green just wraps his foot around the ball and curls towards that far post. Goalkeeper has it covered.
The second excellent save made by the goalkeeper wearing neon green.
Yeah, it's that beard.
The beard.
The beard.
So BYU still scoreless through half number one here. Racing up, Luke Lawrence finding Kroger. Kroger with the cross, headed out by Latte and then launched to the indoor practice facility.
Kroger's been so effective on that wing. I mean, he has great awareness where the ball's going. He has great awareness where his teammates are. Very effective in getting behind defenses.
A nice pass towards Sam Gleedle. Sam has already scored in this one. Junior Latte, BYU team captain, a junior, was there to head it away. Hugh, we keep hearing Coach Watkins yell relax to his teammates. What exactly does he mean by that?
Don't give the ball away cheaply. Don't be so anxious. If the pass isn't on, don't go for it. Just try and keep the ball, keep a rhythm. Be smart about what you're doing. relax doesn't mean slow the play down. I think those terms get confused. Relax doesn't mean take your foot off the pedal. Relax doesn't mean don't play the ball quickly or don't run off the ball with pace. Just means don't be so anxious to play a dangerous ball. Don't be so anxious to play a ball over the top and try and connect a few passes.
All right, let's squeeze a bit. Squeeze a bit. Together now. Squeeze a bit.
1-0 Albuquerque through 35 minutes. The Soul wearing red here in Provo in first place of the PDL's Mountain Division with the 4-1-1 record. BYU still looking for its first win of 2015.
Ethan Meyer going for fan number 2 tonight. Blasting that ball up into the stands. Does look like that fan is okay. A little bit of ice on the nose.
You know, bless their heart.
I stood by a guy in San Francisco at the Giants game a couple weeks ago as the Soul head into the box, bodies flying everywhere. Junior Latte comes away with it. This particular fan was in his 50s, and we were watching batting practice before the game with each other, and he said, you know, I've come to hundreds of these games and never gotten a ball. Literally less than 2 minutes after that, a fly ball hit right at him, and he snagged it
Be careful
out
what
of
you
the
wish
air.
for.
Good luck, charm Dave Neely. Thank you very much.
And I didn't fight for it because I've gotten hundreds of those on my own, so.
You didn't tell him that, did you?
It-
I get one of these like every
I
time
had 2 in
come.
my glove. I had already gotten 2 in the previous couple minutes. I would have given him my own, but I wanted him to earn it himself, and,
right.
That's
and he did.
horrible.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was such fierce competition back there amongst the fans for that stuff.
Well, pray one doesn't come into our tent.
All right, back to the soccer action. Here's Ronaldo Teixeira. Nice defense by Andrew Dossett. And Dossett there again to pop one up. Vasconcelos. Sends it out. Now a long pass in. Brennan Ottman's going to be there to snag it.
That doesn't look good from Ethan Meyer. There's no contact there as he pulls up lame. You wonder if he pulled something. Looks like he's holding his knee. That would be very scary. He had some knee troubles at the end of the year last year. Gives a thumbs up. Hope he's all right.
Number 5, Ethan Meyer for BYU. Gonna limp this one off.
See, that's hard. When, you know, any sort of injury, whether it be minor or something that gets you out of the game, really affects you mentally. I mean, you start worrying about your injury, you start worrying about what you can do to prevent the injury instead of focusing on the game, and sometimes it can make you a little tentative or a little timid out there.
Good sign. He wants the ball immediately back at his feet. Hopefully it's something very, very minor.
Junior Latte
It looks like they've placed
sends it back.
Junior at center back. Him and Meyer switching positions. Ethan going to the outside.
Dallin Cutler to Jerry Dearden. Vasconcelos finds Botcherby. The foul against Giovanni Raleigh. And a yellow card also pulled out of the pocket of our referee, Henson Keach. The first yellow card of this Thursday night matchup.
So the yellow card's going to a defender. And you have to think now, okay, if you're BYU, we're going to go at that defender. We're going to go at that defender. Try and put him in positions where he has to make a silly foul. Put him in situations where it's going to make him uncomfortable because he knows he can't bring anybody down.
Definitely get in his head, say a little thing here and there. You know you're a successful striker if you can get in your defender's head.
Pedro Vasconcelos, short pass to Dearden. He's going to get it right back. Now sends it in with his left foot to Botcherby. Cutler!
Woo.
Another shot on goal. Champanos is there again.
Definitely was, in the end, a routine save from Champanos, but great little layoff from Ryan Botcherby, and that ball had some venom coming from Dallin Cutler.
A rocket from BYU's number 6 in white. So the third really tough shot at Champanos. Like you said, a routine save, but a lot of fire.
Definitely stung his hands, if I had to guess.
Pass sent up towards Jacob Entz. Champanos is there to snag it out of the air.
Last 5 minutes of the game, Cougars down 1. Or, excuse me, not of the game, of the half. Last 5 minutes of the half, Cougars down 1. It's really important for them to stay calm, composed, don't let any other sort of breakdown occur.
And no reason for it right now. There's a lot of game to be played yet. Don't need the equalizer before halftime. It would be lovely to get for momentum's sake. But it would be death if they give up the second one.
Unable to catch up to that one. Sliding in was Jerry Dearden. And now here's Cutler playing a two-man game with Jace Green.
And miscommunication there on who's running forward. Vasconcelos or Entz. Counterattack was on for sure.
Long pass sent up to Campos.
Love the composure from Ethan Meyer to bring that ball down on his chest and then find a teammate.
Well, lots of time. You see, Albuquerque doesn't seem to be pressuring them till after they pass into their half. Very low pressure team. Again, that may have to do with the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, no need to get stretched defensively and expend all that energy when you have a lead, right?
BYU trailed 1-0 at the half on Tuesday night. They trail 1-0 right now with just a couple of minutes left here in the first period. Junior Latte is going to send it back to Cutler. Dallin Cutler working against Manuel Campos. Sends it back to Junior. And it's stolen away by Demasiano. The throw-in's going to be awarded to BYU.
Looks like a free kick over there. Albuquerque's been getting called with pretty good regularity on coming in late, little pokes in the back and clipping guys' ankles after the ball's away. Referee picked up this one on the sideline earlier. Maybe he'll start giving out some more yellow cards if that consistently keeps happening.
You're exactly right, not a throw-in, another set piece for BYU. Dossett sends that one in. Cougars want a handball, they're gonna get it.
Looked pretty clear from us, from our vantage point, as Dossett really connected well on that loose ball as it popped around. An Albuquerque player definitely hits his hand as he goes in. Referee doesn't hesitate to blow his whistle, had a really good look at it.
So the handball, as you look at it,
Tough
inside
on
the box, is going to give BYU a golden opportunity to tie this match at 1 as we head towards the halftime break.
Oh, and this would be great for the Cougars' momentum going into the second half. They could tie it up. It's kind of like a fresh start, get the energy up.
So Jace Green versus Lucas Champanos. Number 19 in white for the Cougars, looking to tie this thing at 1 apiece. Jace Green converts.
Great
Sending
PK.
it to his left. We are tied at 1.
The Cougars 2 for 2 on their PKs.
And you can't say they don't deserve it, Dave and Carla. The BYU's played fairly well. Yeah, they've given up some chances, but they've sure had some chances. Jace Green, uttermost confident, steps up, sends Champanos the wrong way, puts it in his left side. It's all tied up at 1. And again, you can't say BYU doesn't deserve to be a level playing field going into halftime.
Definitely, definitely. And you can already feel it, the energy. I mean, after any sort of goal, you can just feel the energy rise.
It's huge, so much of a difference.
Great way to enter the second half.
We saw Dallin Cutler tie Friday night's match at 1 by converting on a penalty kick. Now Jace Green does so against Albuquerque here less than a week later. Hugh, we've seen 4 penalty kicks in the last 4 games here at Southfield.
Must be, well, I guess it's not you, it's probably me then, I guess, right? You've been to every game so far.
I was going to say, I think I've seen my 2. I think that's my 2 for 2.
Turn.
So I've seen all 4. 3 of the 4 have been made that we've seen, including that one just moments ago to tie this matchup at 1 apiece between first place Albuquerque and last place BYU. Nice pass backwards to Dallin Cutler. Cutler to Vasconcelos. And past midfield quickly comes Albuquerque. Into the box. Sam Gleedle is pursued by Junior Latte.
Everybody's got to be tight, get up in the back of your mark. No space, no time here as the clock starts to wind down.
One question I'll ask real quickly, how do you decide who takes a penalty kick? Because on Friday night it was Dallin Cutler, tonight it's Jace Green.
Well, typically there's 1 or 2 or 3 guys that can take the PK, and it's usually whoever steps up and says this is mine and wins that battle of the chest bump, and tonight it was Jace Green.
And in all honesty, something like a PK is nothing but confidence. You know,
That's
if anybody has
right.
the confidence to put it away, I believe anybody can make a PK.
And it's good to see Jace do that. He had that brace earlier in this homestand. Nice to see him get back on the score sheet. And it definitely has been some balanced scoring from BYU all in all throughout all these games, which is encouraging.
Henson Keach blows the whistle to indicate that halftime has arrived here in Provo. The Albuquerque Soul took a 1-0 lead. Sam Gleedle scored 20 minutes in. And then just moments ago, a handball called against Albuquerque inside the box allows BYU's Jace Green to score his 3rd goal of the season and send us into the break with a 1-1 tie. Carla, you and I asked Coach Watkins what was said during the halftime speech on Tuesday night. Tell our viewers what he said.
I think he's going to be in a much better mood than he was last Tuesday. I think the one thing he's going to tell his teams, again, capitalize on your opportunities up top. Don't get split on the defense. And remember to use your midfield. I think seeing a lot of times because Jace Green and Pedro Vasconcelos and Jacob Entz, because they're so speedy up top, we see a lot of direct balls. But the Cougars, if they're playing track meet soccer, they're going to get tired, especially working camps all day. So they shouldn't be afraid to play through the middle a bit, you know, get it to Andrew Dossett, get it to Jacob Miles and Dallin Cutler in the midfield, and try to build out of the back as opposed to just sending a long direct ball.
We just saw the only goal scored by Albuquerque. That was Sam Gleedle off the pass from Manuel Campos.
Great stretching save there for that Jace Green strike.
Lucas Champanos has made some exciting saves against these BYU offensive players. One of them right here off the foot of Dallin Cutler. And then this is the tying penalty kick to send us into the break, 1-1. Dave Neely, Hugh Van Wagenen, and Carla Swenson here from Southfield. We'll be back with half number 2 in a couple minutes.
to west. You got about a minute. As many people that want to come down and do a pyramid, we have some amazing prizes for the pyramid contest. Okay, it looks like we're gonna have one competitor and one winner. Here we go. Come on down here. Just form your group-ish, right there. How many of you know when the next BYU men's soccer game is? When is the next game? The 20th, correct? 20th and 21st, Friday, Saturday, are the next two BYU men's soccer games. And then after that, just the 4th. So we have 3 games left here in this season. 10 kids get 10. Count 10. I know one of you knows how to count 10. Here we go. Looks like you're kind of left I like it. Okay, tell everyone your name and your age.
29.
29. Spoken like a true woman. What's your name? Where you from?
Betty Dossett from St. Louis, Missouri.
Betty from St. Louis. Okay, let's hear your cougar growl. Grrr. Yeah. Spoken like a true cougar in her day. Understood. Do we have some more? Do we have some more? Okay, right here, buddy. What's your name?
Dawson.
Let's see what you got.
Bro.
Yes. It's like a male and a female at the same time. That's good. Okay. You want? Wait, were you the one that did it last game? Oh, okay. Here you go, buddy. Come here. Come down. Let's see what you got. Where you're from? What's your name?
I'm Jacob Watkins. I'm from South Jordan, Utah.
Sojo. Let's hear you do the cougar growl. Wow. Nice cougar growl. You should have been in Furious 7 as well. Okay. You with the wrist brace. What happened to your wrist?
I was playing goalie.
You were playing goalie. Okay. Let's hear your cougar growl.
Rawr.
Okay, Dad, I think we need to teach him some things. Oh, you're not his dad. Whoops. Okay. Who? Do we have to see some more cougar? I want an adult. I want an adult. Oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by smelly kids. Let me come down a little bit. Let me come down a little bit. Do we have any adults over here that want to do it? Yeah, you. Let's do it. What's your name? Where you're from? Victor from Los Angeles, pues. Okay, let's hear your cougar growl. Meow. Yeah, I've never heard that one before. Good job. I swear, if I hear another meow, I'm going to kick him in the face. Okay, here we go. Let's go over here, just a little further, out of my way. Okay. Here we go. Do we have any cougar growls over here? Cougar growls. You? You. You already went. Anyone else? Don't point someone out. They've got to be raising their hand. No, he doesn't. Nope. You, come here. I'll get you in a sec. Come here, buddy. What's your name?
Chandler Ludlow.
Chandler Ludlow. Let's hear him, right? In 3, 2, 1.
Rawr.
Yeah, not bad. You'll get a little more confident as you keep doing it. Let's try it again. Here we go. No, not that confident. That's okay. Let's try right here. There's a girl right here. What's your name? Where are you from?
Siri, Highland, Utah.
Siri? Like S-I-R-I. You're probably tired of the jokes. Let's hear it in 3, 2, 1. Wow. Okay. It's like a completely newborn cougar. That's great. Couple more as I'm coming down. If you step on my heels again, I will throw you 8 rows from here. Here we go. Okay, what do we got? Yeah, we got you with the Michael Jackson hat. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Was that a wow or a row? Let's do it again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of both. Good job. Okay, you in the red jersey. Here we go.
Rawr.
Not bad. I want a female. You. 3, 2, 1. With the braces, it was effective. It's on my right forefinger. Good job. And one more. Last one of the night goes to...
Rawr.
Yes! You just got stepped on. Great job.
Welcome back to Provo, Utah, South Field on this absolutely fantastic Thursday night. The first place Albuquerque Soul and the BYU Cougars in 5th place of the Mountain Division in the PDL have played their way to a 1-1 tie as we head into half number 2. Immediately a substitution coming in for BYU. Ariel Chavez will replace Junior Latte.
It looks like also Taylor Fankhauser, maybe seeing his first minutes of the season, coming in for Jacob Miles in the middle of the park.
It was an exciting first half, much more exciting than we saw on Tuesday night. As we look at some of the action, the shot total for the two teams, BYU took 7 shots. Albuquerque took 5. The lone BYU goal was scored just a few minutes before the halftime break. A penalty kick converted by Jace Green. The first goal of the game was scored by Sam Gleedle 20 minutes in to give Albuquerque the early lead after BYU had some shot attempts that were saved by Lucas Champeños. Half number 2 underway in a 1-1 tie. The BYU Cougars have played their way to 4 consecutive draws after losing to this Albuquerque squad in Albuquerque on May 21st. Early on, Pedro Vasconcelos is down.
Rubbing his thigh there. Looks like he got a knock as the ball was played into him from Dallin Cutler. And a good start to the half for BYU here. Good opportunity to whip a ball into the far post, as Carlos Swinson talked about in the first half. See if you can get Jace Green, Jerry Dearden, and again a new aerial threat, Ryan Botcherby, who had a great opportunity in that first half.
Hugh Van Wagenen, Carlos Swinson, and Dave Neely from Southfield bringing you the action. Pedro Vasconcelos knocked down and now back up for the second time tonight. The free kick sent in by Dallin Cutler. And on the ground, the pass to Jacob Entz. Jacob Entz too strong for Chavez, just into the match. And there is Lucas Champeños, the visiting goalie, wearing green.
BYU trying something clever from the training ground there. Don't think it came off the way they wanted it to exactly. You got to try those things sometimes, though.
Champeños sends one all the way downfield to his counterpart, wearing royal blue, Brennan Ottman, making his 4th career start.
And Carla, how often on the women's side, how often are you practicing set pieces during the week?
I mean, usually during camps, preparing for summer, it's not something that we focus on. Usually it's focused on team chemistry, getting in shape, obviously working together. But the day before games, when you're going to be taking a lighter practice, maybe not coming in so hard, is when we focus mainly on our corners, our set pieces. As we mentioned earlier, we decide who takes our set pieces. We have specialists who, depending on what corner of the field or who's in at the game at that time, is the person who's assigned to take the corner kicks or to take those set pieces. But it's usually something that's practiced before a game.
This is Yuri Demisiano grimacing in a lot of pain, number 24 in red. He was knocked down after 2 BYU players were knocked down just moments earlier. Finally, the whistle was blown by Henson Keach.
It's a difficult way to start the half. Already, it disrupts the rhythm when you have a lot of injuries, a lot of players down. The key to this, whenever you have any sort of injury, any sort of stoppage of play, is just to stay in the right mentality, stay focused, and be prepared for that, to win the ball in the air and that second ball.
Hugh, to go back quickly to the question you posed, when we talked to Coach Watkins on Tuesday, he said that with the camps this week, that's the only thing they practiced. Just a couple of set piece plays that they would try to implement this week.
Yeah, like Carlos said, it's really nothing you can do. You have a game on Tuesday, you can't do too much before that in practice on Monday. Wednesday is just after a game and just before another game. Really not much to do. If anything, try and get a stretch, shake your legs out, get a good meal in you, and then today again you're back at it.
BYU will have more than a week off after tonight's game before playing on June 19th, which is next Friday night. And I'm sure the legs of these BYU players will appreciate the rest.
Well, and especially the last 10 minutes of this game are going to be the most crucial, because that's when both teams are tired. Both teams are starting to get a little weary. It's going to be really important just to grind it out, that good endurance. Endure to the end, they say.
At midfield, Adrian Mora pushing it up, and now back to Travis Campbell. Campbell's going to go to the near sideline. Sam Gleedle has Albuquerque's only goal tonight Now into the box. Mora again. Sent back out by BYU.
Good save, Brendan Ottman.
I talked to my young nephew in Florida just a couple hours ago, and he said, Dave, you need to be more excited. That was one of those examples. So Will Bond, I'm not living up to your expectations here. I need to...
Everybody try and just be monotone for the next 2 minutes.
I need to be more excited.
And then you can change back, and it'll be awesome.
During these shot attempts. But like you said, a nice save by Brendan Ottman. Despite my level of enthusiasm.
I don't know that people appreciate the difficulty of calling what's happening at the same time trying to internalize whether to be excited or not. It's a really difficult thing to do.
Another set piece for Albuquerque. Miguel Campos is there. Number 11 will send it in. Or it might be, yep, it is Campos. Number 5, Teixeira is there.
Big save, Brendan
Denied
Ottman on
again.
his near post.
Denied again by Brendan Ottman. Now a long pass up ahead towards Vasconcelos. The ball's going to roll out of bounds.
Ottman doing a great job cutting off that angle. You saw at the beginning of the set piece, he started in the center of the goal, and as the ball drifted across the near post, he took off that, or excuse me, the far post, he took off that angle quite well. Makes it hard for the strikers to shoot on goal.
The throw-in ends up going nowhere, and now BYU will send it in. Ariel Chavez pushing it past midfield. Another sub for the Cougars, number 22, Taylor Frankhauser.
And Taylor fairly fresh off his LDS mission. Back in the game. Also has a younger brother, Seth, who's on a mission, who played with the squad before he took off. And together, the Fankhauser brothers have a younger brother as well, who's still in high school. Fankhausers were a dynasty at Brighton High School, just north of here in Salt Lake County, for several years as they played together. Fun players to watch.
Tamino Kroger has the ball taken away by BYU. Another yellow card will be issued against the Albuquerque Soul as we look at the foul called against.
Repetitive fouling. Domiciano.
Number 24, Yuri Domiciano, is the receiver of the card. One tie here in Provo. The Albuquerque Soul, 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. They are in first place in the Mountain Division. The BYU Cougars, no wins, 2 losses, and 4 ties in the last 4 matches. They are at the bottom of the Mountain Division standings.
This would be huge for the Cougars if they could win this game. And speaking to midfielder Pedro Vasconcelos before the game, he said if we want any chance, any shot of getting to the playoffs, we've got to start winning these games and putting away our shots. And a game against the #1 team in the league would be a great way to start that.
BYU quickly back into action. Ariel Chavez back to Cutler. And Frankhauser to Vasconcelos. Vasconcelos with the crosses knocked away by Carlos Sendin. And then popped up high into the air and out of bounds. Last touched by BYU.
BYU's looking to keep pressure up here on Albuquerque. Everybody get tight on the throw and see if you can nick a pass right here and counter quickly. Win the ball back.
No, Albuquerque players are there to try to corral in the pass. And here come the Cougars. Cutler right at the defender, Domiciano. Then an impressive steal made by Pedro Vasconcelos.
And the ball, we've seen it over here on the far touchline as you're looking at it on the screen for a long time, and now finally gets out of pressure. Ethan Meyer switches the ball looking for Jace Green.
BYU Cougars in white, heading from right to left on your monitor. Jace Green unable to do anything with that ball. It's cleared away by the defense and quickly put back into action by BYU. Dallin Cutler looking for Vasconcelos, now to Jace Green. Taken away by Albuquerque. Long pass up ahead towards Kruger.
Last-ditch tackle from Ethan Meyer. Has to get that right. And he does.
Meyer saves the day for the time being.
And that's a hard play to do because you hesitate for a second and you come in a little late. And I mean, that's a card and a free kick right outside of your box. Very risky, but obviously Ethan Meyer knows how to do it and very beneficial. Saves the Cougars from a 1v1 situation with Ottman.
Dossett does really well to get out of trouble there. Just gets nicked, tripped up a little bit.
I'd be curious to see Dossett's numbers on fouls, how many times he gets taken out in a game.
Jace Green sends that one into the box, a little misconnection off his foot.
Good double team from Dossett and Cutler there. Like to see that from your midfielders.
Now here's Botcherby bringing it down the near sideline. Knocked out of bounds. Last touched by the home team.
Be interesting to see if the Cougars can switch it to the far side. Defender on the right wing, Ariel Chavez, number 2, has been coming up. He shows he's willing to come up into the attacking third. He's been wide open on the wing, but the Cougars have been playing to that far side next to the crowd.
First substitution being made by Matt Gordon, the coach of the Albuquerque Soul. Ricardo Zacharias coming in for Albuquerque, number 25. He has scored 1 goal this season, replacing number 18, Tamino Kruger. Jace Green racing ahead towards this one. He's going to be beat to the ball by his defender. And here, Champaños sends one to Ariel Chavez of BYU at midfield. And here's Ethan Meyer again to send it away. Jace Green. Jace Green working against Carlos Sendin.
Jace has a tough job up there all by himself. Those long balls, he's got to fight off 2 center backs. It hasn't been terribly successful. He's got to be strong, hold that ball up, wait for his teammates to join him.
A couple more guys hit the deck. Ryan Botcherby knocked down. The whistle goes against Albuquerque. Giovanni Raleigh. Now here comes BYU's offense, taken away by Miguel Campos.
It was like we were talking at halftime, Dave. Both teams, both Albuquerque and the Cougars, if they keep playing so direct, just kicking it from one side to the other, both teams are going to get tired. Doesn't look like pretty soccer. As we were talking about Jace Green being all alone at the top, if we would have played it through, if the Cougars would have played it right through the midfield, he probably would have had more opportunities, more players to help him in the attacking third.
As you see Winston Sorheights coming off the bench for BYU, getting ready to sub in. Definitely an offensive threat who likes to run at players and bring energy. And same with Garrett G, also preparing to sub in.
Winston has started each of the last 3 matches here on this homestand.
Campos, really clever little player. Splits a couple defenders, draws a foul.
Campos, actually, prior to coming here to playing in Albuquerque, actually played for the U20 Cruz Azul. He's a Mexican native, but decided to come to school here in New Mexico and ended up staying with the Albuquerque Soul.
So here come the subs. Winston Sorheights will replace number 19, Jace Green. And Garrett G., the BYU senior, will replace his youngest teammate, Jacob Entz.
Definitely as fresh as these legs can be for all the BYU players. Good change here for the last half hour. Two high-impact players can run at this Albuquerque defense, like Carla was mentioning, because every legs have to be tiring. When you got Winston running at you, it's a scary thing as a defender, and Garrett G running at you, things you don't want to deal with as the minutes wane in the game.
We've seen 14 shots tonight, 7 by BYU, 7 by Albuquerque. Each team has put 1 into the back of the net, and we are tied at 1 through 60 minutes of play. Ariel Chavez,
there's the switch
here
Carla
on the sideline. Fancy footwork as he keeps possession and finds his teammate Taylor Frankhauser. And Dallin Cutler, a little bit too physical, reaching around and grabbing.
Dallin does a very smart thing, actually knows he's beaten, knows he's been turned, and just a subtle foul to break up the momentum of Albuquerque, help his teammates get back.
Impressive burst of speed shown by Sam Gleedle, taken away by BYU.
Love the tackles there, especially from Andrew Dossett and Ethan Meyer. Win that ball back. But like Carly was saying, once Andrew wins that ball back, he just wants to go long because he sees all this green grass. Every once in a while, it's fine to do that, stretch the defense. But after you've tried it a few times, forwards have to start coming underneath the back four, receiving the ball at feet because those holes open up.
Ricardo Zacharias somersaulting over the BYU player. The foul goes against the Cougars.
Looks like Ethan sat on the ball when he made the tackle. Referee judged it to be illegal.
Sending this one in, Manuel Campos. He has an assist tonight. He found Sam Gleedle in the 20th minute to give Albuquerque a 1-0 lead. And sending this one in. Towards the goal, headed. And there! The ball sneaks past Brendan Ottman off the head of the Albuquerque Soul. 2-1. The visiting team leads here.
Wow, Ottman hung out to dry with that header.
And that ball leaves Campos' foot. I thought it's so slow. Wouldn't have enough pace to get on it, but sure enough, it loops in over Ottman. And in my opinion, against the run of play, Albuquerque finds themselves up 2-1 in the 63rd minute.
So just like that, 2-1 Albuquerque. The first place team with just 1 loss this season. They already defeated BYU 2-1 earlier this year.
And Dave, I think that just comes to show we'd spoken in the first half how dangerous those set piece opportunities can be. I mean, it appears that a majority of BYU's goals against them have all come off of set piece opportunities.
And it's terribly frustrating as a coaching staff to understand really when it comes down to set pieces, a lot of it's about determination and hunger and not giving up on your man, not giving up on the ball. But if somebody is not disciplined or being lazy or just not feeling committed enough, sure enough, it leaves people out to dry.
Now, Albuquerque sending another one in towards the goal, headed away by Chavez.
And how quickly the momentum is shifted right after that goal. Now Albuquerque's down BYU's throat in their offensive half. And before, really, BYU had the majority of the ball, at least from what I could gather.
Zacharias for Albuquerque, denied momentarily by BYU. Out of bounds at the corner for a throw-in near the flag.
It's like an offsides call on Albuquerque there, deep in the corner. BYU's really gonna have to find some energy now. Going to have to find a way to dig deep, get themselves back in this game. Obviously looking for the equalizer first and foremost, and then hopefully going on to try and find a winner. You got to deal with the first goal to tie it up before you think about winning the game, however. And it is quiet out here on this pitch. The fans are deflated. The players are down. Somebody's going to have to do something to change the dynamic of this game for the last 25 minutes or so.
There was a similar feeling just like this on Tuesday night, 48 hours ago exactly, when the substitutions were made by Coach Watkins. Ryan Botcherby came in and moments later scored a tying goal to shift momentum in a big way. And BYU needs a similar momentum type changing play here against Albuquerque.
And Hughes was talking about in the first half, when the energy's low, when you get down a goal, you need a leader to step on the field. I mean, Coach Watkins and the staff can do everything they want to motivate. But you need a leader to bring up the energy out there.
Race to the ball in the corner. Winston Sorheights into the box. Pedro Vasconcelos, beautiful spin move. Left-footed shot towards the goal, sails a little bit too high.
And you called it, Dave. It was a beautiful turn from Vasconcelos there on the top of the box. 2 defenders, leaves him in the dust and just can't get his foot around the ball. Hits it high, gets 2 underneath it. It's positive from BYU though. And if you're a player out on the pitch or your staff or you're a player on the bench right now, you can say, hey, we've come from behind this season already. We know we can come back and do it, but it gets awfully tiring to have to do it game after game. But the potential, the capacity is definitely there.
Long pass to switch the field. Manuel Campos working against Chavez. The cross too high for his teammate, and now Botcherby bringing it down the sideline up to Pedro Vasconcelos at midfield.
See, it's difficult for the Cougars. Albuquerque just telling themselves, we'll just contain. We have the numbers up, just contain. Move it up the field.
Good read, Andrew Dossett getting that passing lane. Now BYU wins it back. Can they connect a couple passes? Try and break down Albuquerque a little bit and retain the ball. Help get a rhythm, some confidence on the ball for all the teammates out there.
Pass headed towards Vasconcelos. Rolls out of bounds.
Both teams trying to stretch each other out now.
Bad pass by Chavez is taken back away by Albuquerque. Once again, Campos from distance. Adrian Mora has his shot knocked away. Campos again. Looking to send it in. Guarded by Frank Hauser.
Great feet.
Now Campos. Another dangerous shot.
And Campos' quick feet prove as dangerous for Albuquerque. The Cougars are letting a lot of those header balls go in. Again, I think it goes back to that tenacity, that grit. Are you going to be the one to get up there?
So the score still 2-1 here in Provo between Albuquerque and BYU. The Cougars wearing white, the Soul wearing red.
Good turn.
Another fast break for Albuquerque. One-on-one. Brennan Ottman loses again. The goal scored by Ricardo Zacharias, who was just subbed into this one. The Albuquerque Soul now lead 3-1 against BYU, as you see Zacharias beat 2 BYU players. And then from point blank range against Brendan Ottman, squeezes it past him, and they 2-goal lead with 20 minutes left here.
There's 20 minutes is quite a bit of time left in this game. However, with 2 goals within a relatively short period of time, they sort of come out of nothing. That's terribly deflating as a player, and it's going to take a lot of character, a lot of commitment from everybody on the pitch if you're in the white jersey tonight to try and come back from 2 goals down in this last 20 minutes.
And I think a key to add to that, it's not just playing hard, it's playing smart. Because a lot of times when players get down, you know, they say, okay, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to do everything I can, but it's more than just running high intensity. Now you have to think your way to 2 more goals, and if they want to get a win, to 3 more goals.
2 goals in the last 7 minutes for Albuquerque to turn a 1-1 tie into a 3-1 lead for the visiting team here at Southfield. Albuquerque in first place with a 4-1-1 record. The second place team, Tucson, that's who BYU will play next Friday and Saturday, have just 2 wins this season, and then Real Colorado and Las Vegas each have 1 win. BYU still winless, sitting in 5th place.
You got to start a goal at a time. BYU has to get one back, preferably sooner rather than later. Anytime they get one, sure does make a game of it, and you would anticipate Albuquerque really sitting deep if BYU can get one of these back.
On Tuesday night, BYU scored 2 goals in the second half in a matter of 5 minutes. So as you mentioned, 20 minutes, plenty of time. But you need that first one. Here's Zacharias, fresh off his goal, sending one towards Adrian Mora, who switches the field. Giovanni Raleigh.
There's no pressure on the ball here for BYU. You got to step up, put pressure on the Albuquerque player, force him into a mistake.
Well, and that's what happens too when you get down. You're a little more hesitant to attack the ball for fear of getting beat.
Ooh. And Teixeira would not want to be Andrew Dossett challenging big Teixeira like that. Andrew's very slow to get up after that challenge.
Still laying face first in the turf, now just barely getting back up onto his feet.
And Teixeira just lays a shoulder into Andrew Dossett's chest there. Referee opting not to call anything. A little smirk on Dossett's face saying, are you sure? You sure that wasn't a foul?
I'm with you, Hugh. I would not want to be Andrew Dossett in that situation, going up against big number 5, Ronaldo Teixeira.
It's be a disruption in the game. Kind of slows the rhythm down, but maybe good for the players. Maybe good for BYU to catch their breath, kind of reset their mentality, calm down a little bit. It's important in moments like this when the play's kind of stopped to kind of ask yourself again, what are your motivations? What are your purpose? Go back to the basics of soccer.
Another substitution. There you see him coming in, number 10, Jacob Gandarilla, replacing number 11, Manuel Campos. Campos has 2 goals this season, and he also has 2 assists tonight.
Campos has been a fun player to watch tonight, had a good game. Love seeing his quick feet, great assist on that first goal, splitting open the defense of BYU. They'll miss him for the last 15.
And then he found Carlos Sendin for the Soul's second goal off the set piece. This is the largest deficit BYU has had in any game here in Provo this season.
It's been really tough. All the games have been close. BYU's been in every game, but they haven't had a shutout yet, I don't believe. That's really draining if you're a goalkeeper, whether it was Jake Peterson at the beginning of the season or now Brendan Ottman. Doesn't feel good to give up goal game after game after game.
We saw BYU play to a scoreless a scoreless score through 120 minutes of action against the Harpos from Colorado in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah, that was the one shutout. Is that right, Dave? If we remember correctly.
And then the Cougars eventually lost that one in extra kicks.
And see, these past 3 goals have been difficult for Ottman because all of them have been 1v1. I mean, the most you can do in those situations, try to take off any angles, try to make yourself big. But if you're 1v1 with the striker, the advantage is with the striker.
Certainly, it's a huge play if Brendan Ottman makes those saves, make those plays, but he's certainly not at fault necessarily. I do wonder if he could have scrambled across his goal a little bit quicker on the header as he kind of looped in. But it was a well-placed header, no doubt about it.
A high looping header to make it 2-1. That was 10 minutes ago. Since then, the Soul have scored again and now lead by 2 against BYU with 15 minutes left plus some stoppage time.
Cougars could use a bit of luck on their side tonight if they're going to get back in this one.
Dallin Cutler for BYU, sending this one into the box. Vasconcelos is knocked down. The foul's going to go against Albuquerque, and you see Vasconcelos there almost in the box.
And I'm not sure what Albuquerque's complaining about. Pedro brings the ball down, great first touch. Guy comes through his lower back, puts Pedro on his backside, and sure, he ends up with the ball, but has to come through Pedro to get that ball. That is a foul.
Again, here's another opportunity. We don't know how many. We don't know how many of these opportunities the Cougars are going to get.
Yeah, this would be huge to get back within a goal here. Gonna have to take a special play, grit and determination on the offensive end as well, just like the defensive.
From close range, Cutler sending it on the ground towards the goal, knocked away and cleared out by Al against BYU.
That's a disappointing ball from Dallin Cutler on the free kick. Wonder if he can't just whip that in with real pace into the mix, hoping for a touch from one of his teammates. Instead, it almost looked like he was trying to shoot near post. Doesn't connect on it very well.
Well, Hugh, you and I were talking, why not go far post? I mean, worst comes to worst, you miss the goal and you have a striker there ready for it.
That's right, you give yourself different opportunities when you try and go.
Jeez, yes! That's one past Lucas Champaños. The ball rolled on the ground for 30 yards, untouched before Garrett G., BYU senior, was there to easily send it in past the goalkeeper.
Oh, what a great ball. I mean, it was easy for Garrett G. Piece of cake, right at his feet, right at the PK spot.
Those are the runs you love to see from your outside players, coming from outside to in between center backs. I'm not sure who it was, but somebody, Taylor Finkhauser with a little dummy, threw the defense off. Garrett G., calm as you like, comes in, toe poke it home. And now we'll have an exciting finish for the last 12 minutes of the game. Hopefully the fans will stay on their feet, and it should be a good thing to watch here as BYU goes for the equalizer.
The third goal we've seen in the last 15 minutes. And Hugh, you mentioned 20 minutes is plenty of time, but you got to get that first goal first. So Garrett G. doing just that, making it a one-score game. Nestor Aguilar coming in for Albuquerque, replacing Sam Gleadle. Gleadle scored the first goal of this game. And now he takes a seat.
And you can just tell how confident, how much energy he has right now.
Good pressure from BYU. Their deep long ball to get out of their own back. Good work from Pedro G and Taylor Finkhauser to put pressure on the back line of Albuquerque, who have to give up the ball for a throw-in.
Here's Pedro Vasconcelos at the corner, knocking it off of the defense. BYU will have another corner kick.
You have to ride the momentum if you're BYU right now. Just got a great, great goal. A lot of time left. Get an equalizer here, and boy, it would get everybody going. Wonderful opportunity to equalize.
Vasconcelos sending it in. BYU with an opportunity to tie. Dallin Cutler popped back up. Cutler, a nice head pass to Vasconcelos with the cross. Headed out by Albuquerque.
Oh, beautiful soccer there. I mean, it's unfortunate it didn't go in, but you can tell the Cougars, they're trying to put it in.
Ethan Meyer knew exactly what he was doing there.
Very
exactly
tactical.
what he was doing. Tactical foul. Knows the players beyond him. Yellow card. Deserved one, but understandable. That's what you have to do when you're the last defender. Covering for your teammates on a counterattack. He goes for the ball. Little Giovanni Rulik saying, I knew what you were doing there. Something that needs to be done on occasion as a defender.
Another substitution, number 9, Ben Barkoff coming in, replacing Luke Lawrence. Luke Lawrence has 2 goals this season, so Matt Gordon subbing out his top goal scorers in the last couple of minutes.
Luke Lawrence, we haven't called his name a whole lot tonight, but he's really been a great focal point for this Albuquerque team. A lot of things run through him offensively. Likes to play with his back to goal and lay it off. He's had a nice game tonight.
Ooh. Giovanni Rowley sends this one past everybody and out of bounds. Brendan Ottman will put it back into play. We are in the final 10 minutes here on a Thursday night from beautiful Southfield in Provo. Dave Neely, Hugh Van Wagenen, and Carla Swenson, thanking you for tuning in. Ariel Chavez to Garrett G. Giovanni Raleigh takes it away, and then it's stolen right back by BYU. Pass up ahead, headed away by Carlos Sendin. And the BYU defense there at midfield to deny
Don't give the ball away cheaply. Don't give the ball away cheaply.
And every time you have the ball now with less than 10 minutes left, so valuable trying to score
exactly
the equalizer.
Right,
diving and being called for a foul, Nestor Aguilar.
Tries to bring Jerry Dearden down at his ankles. Can't even do that. As a big, strong Jerry Dearden barrels forward, trying to push his team on.
Well, and you saw Jerry wasn't okay with that with the little clip at the end.
Pass gets past Vasconcelos. A good job to clear Pedro away. Demasiano lets it roll out of bounds. And that'll take the ball once again away from BYU.
And Albuquerque's just take their time, set the ball down, waste a few more seconds here and there, take the momentum out from BYU. Carla, you mentioned it earlier. Now it's not just about hustling and wanting to run fast and run hard, but really staying disciplined and using that energy appropriately to put teammates in good places, to win the ball back in good spots, give your team an opportunity to tie this up.
Well, and here's everything that you've been working on in practice. This is when it comes in. The last 10 minutes of the game, that's when you need to remember all the tactics.
Zacharias has already scored, and sending this one towards Ottman. Ottman deflects it away. Zacharias looking for his second goal in the last 15 minutes.
Been a real handful for BYU, Zacharias has. Brendan Ottman has to get down low quickly, tip that around his near post. Does so very well.
Zacharias just came into the match midway through the second half, already having an impact. A corner kick for Albuquerque. BYU's defense needs to step up to the challenge. And they do, as Teixeira heads it away. And BYU takes over. Ottman a long way out to take that one away from Zacharias. Dallin Cutler looking for some teammates. Finds Vasconcelos. Now to Botcherby. Botcherby tripped up. Out of bounds, last touched by BYU.
Good tackle there from number 13 as Ryan Botcherby was trying to push the ball forward. Got caught underneath him a little bit. Everybody very tense here around the stadium and on the field. Coaching staff, media, fans, players.
All on their feet.
Is it possible? Can it happen? Coming back from 2 goals down with 20 minutes left would be fantastic.
Well, definitely, you think of the women's team 2 years ago. Came back at that Oklahoma game scoring 3 goals in 7 minutes.
It can happen. You are right.
You don't pull the goalie like you do in hockey, but at what point do you really get desperate to score and take all sorts of chances to score that final goal?
I haven't kept track of all the substitutions, but it's about time that might happen. Josh Hunter coming in as an offensive threat. Wonder who gets pulled if it's a defender like you're saying, Dave. Got to roll the dice. If you lose by 1 or 2, it's still a loss. Get that tie by rolling the dice a little bit. Got to do it.
Here's Frank Hauser looking for Sorhoitz. And now Zacharias again has it taken away by Ethan Meyer. Winston Sorheitz to Garrett G.
Oh,
Offsides is called against BYU.
great play. Cougars doing a lot better job of just playing through the midfield.
The whole Albuquerque back line, their hand goes straight up in the air as that ball is played. But here it is, Dave, as you were asking, when's the substitution come? And there it is, center back Jerry Dearden comes off the pitch for Josh Hunter, who heads immediately to the top of the line. Let's see if the gamble pays dividends here for BYU.
Josh Hunter, number 4 in white, replacing Jerry Dearden. Vasconcelos to Sorheitz. And now every
Great turn.
possession for BYU so critical. Ariel Chavez at midfield.
Loves to run.
Racing to the corner. The cross.
Good ball from Chavez.
Knocked away by the defense. Now from the top, Andrew Dossett is denied. Pass up ahead to Frank Hauser. And Ariel Chavez passing towards the goal. BYU with an opportunity, but Lucas Champagno says no.
Champagnos has to be brave as he gets up there and exposes himself amongst all those bodies. Does really well, pull that down to the air. Chavez, not bad ball whipped in. He's got to drive it a little bit more and keep it more towards the 6-yard box, but really positive play from BYU here.
Cougars really picking up the urgency. Josh Hunter racing for this one, fresh into this match with the freshest legs on this BYU team.
Put pressure on, put pressure on. Don't let him out of a tight spot.
Last touched by BYU. The Cougars win the throw-in. Good defense to force it off Ben Barkoff. Andrew Dossett.
Can already see Albuquerque. Albuquerque's just packing everybody back. I mean, they have lone Zacharias at the top and the rest of the team in the box.
Frank Hauser in the corner.
No
And
near
once
post
again,
runner. No near
Champagnos.
post runner. Fink does really well to slip that ball underneath Albuquerque defender. Cross isn't wonderful, but if you're a BYU forward, you have to be cheating to that near post. It does one of two things. Either you get there and score, or you draw defenders away from you, allowing your teammates more time and space. Nobody being proactive enough in that instance.
Ethan Meyer's going to beat Zacharias to this ball and send it a long ways up ahead towards Winston Sorheitz. Ariel Chavez to Dallin Cutler as we near the final 30 seconds of regulation before a couple of minutes of stoppage time. BYU now looking to score an equalizing goal to give the Cougar squad a 5th straight tie. Otherwise, it would be the 3rd loss of the season and the 1st loss since they lost to this Albuquerque Soul team in Albuquerque. We're going to have 4 minutes of stoppage time. So 4 minutes left in this one for BYU to potentially tie this match.
And see, Dave, getting that first win, it's going to be the hardest one. But once they can get one win, the rest of them are going to start to come.
Brendan Ottman's going to take no time to send this one back towards midfield. And here's Garrett G. You can sense the excitement here in Provo. G lets this pass get away.
BYU has to stay tight, win the ball back immediately from the throw in here. No space, no time for any of the Albuquerque players to pick their head up and find a teammate.
Long throw in. And just like you said, Hugh, BYU takes it back.
And everybody pouring forward for BYU here as it falls to
Vasconcelos says last touched by Albuquerque. He is right. The Cougars will have a throw in quickly to Taylor Frankhauser. Frankhauser is knocked down.
Frank has got to send that in just a little bit earlier.
Cleared away. Brendan Ottman there to clean it up before.
Now Albuquerque now playing a little bit of a wasting time game as Domiciano goes down with an injury, hobbling off. Substitution for Albuquerque here. Referees are supposed to add time once it's hit extra time here to these substitutions. And look at that, now he's jogging off, much to the chagrin of the crowd who sees the time wasting.
Andy Wilkinson, number 23 in, replacing Yuri Domiciano, number 24. We are in stoppage time. BYU looking for the equalizing goal against first place Albuquerque.
And Ottman doesn't know whether to stay or whether to go. Ethan Meyer knows when to go, and he goes hard.
Zacharias
Great tackle.
has the scoring opportunity taken away by Ethan Meyer.
How Zacharias got so open. Somebody didn't track back.
Numbers are flooding forward for BYU. There's going to be gaps for Zacharias to exploit.
Garrett G racing to this one, trying to beat the goalkeeper to it. The goalkeeper's out of the box. Now Champaños is back in there. BYU trying to keep possession. They do. Dossett to Josh Hunter, too strong. Winston Sorheights at the top of the box. Sending it in towards the goal, headed away. Now Zacharias finding Teixeira.
Far post. And Ethan Meyer again comes over and covers so well.
Cougar defense there to take it away. And now just moments left here between BYU and Albuquerque. Winston Sorheights is there. So's Vasconcelos, so's Josh Hunter. Josh Hunter to Sorheights.
Wow.
Cleared away again by the defense.
So close. Cougars are playing so well, they just can't seem to finish.
Ariel Chavez knocked down. Foul against Albuquerque. Another substitution coming in for Albuquerque.
Now everybody's got to go. Everybody's got to go. If you're BYU, throw everybody into the box.
Matt Gordon.
Brendan Ottman, why not? Get up in there. You're the biggest guy on the pitch.
Matt Gordon, the Albuquerque coach in his first season, taking more time away via the substitutions. Dallin Cutler from just inside midfield in what may be BYU's last opportunity here against first place Albuquerque. Cutler on the ground to Ethan Meyer. A nice pass, BYU with the shot knocked away, still in the box. Botcherby sent one in, cleared away once again by the defense. BYU in hurry mode. Dossett way outside of the box to send this one up to Winston Sorheights. Deflected out of bounds. It'll be a BYU throw-in. Anticipating the whistle to signify the end of this game any moment. Across, headed into the air, Vasconcelos. Vasconcelos gonna send it in towards Garrett G. Garrett G again.
And you can just hear the crowd
And that
gasping.
is the end of the ball game. Or is it? A yellow card being called against BYU.
And everyone holding their breath. This is going to be the last play of the game, last bit.
Desperate defending from Albuquerque, and they do it well enough at least. As BYU throws bodies in, Vasconcelos getting across, and Garrett G going up.
So the whistle was blown, but not to end the game, instead to call a foul against BYU.
That probably well does it, Dave. Might not have been the final whistle, but that was definitely the last best opportunity BYU will have, and you wonder if the referee will blow the final whistle as soon as this free kick flies.
Lucas Champaños might be able to end the match right here with this long kick downfield. And there it is, just as you said, Hugh. The goal kick ends the game. BYU loses for the first time here in Provo in PDL play. The Albuquerque Soul remain in first place. They move to 5 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. They are 2-0 against BYU. The Cougars drop to 0, 3, and 4. Still looking for win number 1. They'll be back in action next weekend against second place Tucson next Friday and Saturday night here in Provo. We'll have those for you.
At the end of this one, you think, was BYU outplayed tonight? Answer is no. Do they have some opportunities? Yes, they did. Are they going to feel a little bit harmed with this result? Certainly. As we see a couple of highlights here. But if you're a coaching staff going into the end of this game against the top place team, it's the last of 4 games in 7 days after all the camps and everybody on their feet, and you have to take your hat off to these Cougar players. Were not played, gave it their all, had their opportunities. Unfortunately, the bounces went for Albuquerque, and they were calmer in the finishes tonight, as we saw right there with that opening goal.
And before that goal, we saw what I think was probably the play of the game by Lucas Champaños, denying freshman Jacob Entz from scoring the first goal in the early minutes.
And you see, it's more than just being a good soccer player or being a good soccer team. You have to learn how to win. And unfortunately for the Cougars, they haven't been able to put away those opportunities or have that winning mentality. I mean, you have to be a poacher sometimes on top of the goal. You know, whether you're the one making the run or in the right place at the right time, you have to learn how to win games.
Yeah, it's a confidence thing. There's definitely something to that. And despite the number of players for BYU that have had significant minutes in years past, collectively, they haven't quite experienced those winning streaks, those opportunities to come and grind out close games. And they've been in every game, no doubt about it. And Carla, you were saying it earlier, they need to get the 1 win, and that could really start helping the dominoes fall and bring the confidence into this squad that they so desperately need.
BYU's last-ditch effort was not quite enough in the final moments. The goals were scored for Albuquerque by Carlos Sendin, Ricardo Zacharias, and Sam Gleedle. For BYU in the first half, a penalty kick was made by Jay Screen, and then the second goal was scored by senior Garrett G. The Cougars fall to first place Albuquerque, the final score from Provo. Albuquerque Soul 3, BYU Cougars 2. We'll be with you next Friday and Saturday, June 19th and 20th. The Cougars will host Tucson. For Hugh Van Wagenen, Carla Swenson, and our fabulous crew, I'm Dave Neely from Provo. saying good night and have a good one, everybody.